Shalom, we're going right in. There's a lot that's about to take place in Great Babylon. The wait is over. Everything is laid out on the table. We about to enter into some scary times for the unbelievers, the unfaithful ones. And we about to enter into a time of strength for the faithful ones, for the believers, giving all the praise and honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Hakwadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarium, shal yash Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Time is short, and it really is. And seeing is believing. Then shall they know a prophet has been amongst them. There's a lot of things happening. This is a video from NY Prepper that I'm gonna let play in a minute. But we're gonna jump right into the scriptures. Because something happened over the weekend. Now, I saw a movie this weekend. It's called the House of Dynamite. Right now, this is a serious movie. I suggest, it's up to you, go check it out. A lot of scriptures, man, just flying. As you're going to see, this is Esau's predictive programming. Because while this movie, I think it came out maybe a week or two ago. Something went down over the weekend. Okay. And we know this devil is about to come down with great wrath. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 2 and verse 3. I'm going to read it in the GNT, okay? I will send foreigners to destroy Babylon. Now, this is not talking about ancient Babylon, which today will be Iraq, okay? Because ancient Babylon is still intact. And when the Medes came to take down the Babylonians, it was a surgical strike. When you go into the history, blood was spilled because one kingdom was overthrowing another, but it wasn't as chaotic as you read in the books of Jeremiah and Isaiah when the Lord said he was going to totally destroy Babylon. There will be nothing left. That couldn't be talking about ancient Babylon because ancient Babylon is thriving right now. There's citizens there. They have a population. They have a economy. They even have a seat in the UN. So this cannot be talking about ancient Babylon. This had to be talking about something else with the code word Babylon attached to it. And we know what it's talking about. It's talking about this place here, America. This is America in the Bible. America goes under code names, Nineveh, Syria, the daughter of Babylon, Babel, depending on what prophet and how he was seeing it, what captivity also. Now, the Spirit got to guide you, as you're reading through these prophecies, but all the seals, everything is open, and the understanding is here that America got to be that Babylon the Great that you read about in Revelation 17, Revelations 18, okay? So this is not talking about ancient Babylon. It's Babel today. And the word Babylon means confusion. So it says, I will send foreigners to destroy Babylon like a wind that blows straw away. And we know that to be these nuclear bombs. See, while our eyes are on World War III for a reason, because the closer that we come to the war of Armageddon, the faster the Lord will put it in the mind of these Edomites to start chipping. Now, something is about to go down. Some type of black swan event. We don't know what Esau got planning, but it's about to be serious because they're going to push this microchip with great fear. They're going to push this with a lot of fear. I mean, way more serious than 9/11. They're going to push this with great fear. So something is brewing. So it says, when that day of destruction comes, they will attack from every side and leave the land bare. So that's not ancient Babylon. And it was an attack from every side. Yeah, they're going to hit this place from every side. You got the West Coast, East. You know, those arrows going to be coming. They're going to be flying. You know, America will be surrounded by the other nations. Thus saith the Lord. So it says, don't give its soldiers time to shoot their arrows. So the Lord going to make it to where America won't be able to get off those nuclear weapons, those arrows. You know, whatever defense shield they think they have. It's going to fail, just like they showed you in that movie, House of Dynamite. You know, those 2 counter missiles, they failed. So the Lord got it designed for the attack. The unwalled villages. This place is ripe. It's set for the reaping. The harvest is ripe. It says, do not spare the young men. These are the soldiers as well as the men and women and children and elderly that's here that will be hit with these bombs. This is not a game, man. This thing is going down. Destroy the whole army. There will be nothing left of Esau to retaliate or to get back on his feet. He will not build again because the Lord is removing you Edomites and setting up YAHAWASHI, the final kingdom, man. So this is, I'm going to read something here before I get into this video, right? This is, because this went out, you know, this weekend. It was called Skyking Nuclear Action Codes. Now, Skyking, when they send this out, the last time they did this, I think it said about 2016. Okay? So they haven't sent this Skyking Nuclear Action Codes out because you don't send this out. You know, you got airways that you send these action codes out. The primary system, but then you have a second tier system where you can practice on. So action codes, nuclear action codes are constantly going out daily. But this type of action code doesn't go out because it trumps all action codes. And it's only a one-way street. So meaning you send the codes out to everything that you got in the field. You're going to hear the video. And you only do this in a time of something serious is about to happen, man. So what is the Lord about to do? What is that? Show you that the Lord is speeding up the time. You're going to hear the video, but let's read some of this. It says, Skyking Nuclear Action Codes is the code word for a high priority emergency action message sent over the U.S. military high frequency global communication system. So they don't practice on this system here. They have other communication systems that they practice on, but not this one here because they don't want to confuse the nuclear submarines as well as other nuclear sniffers and jets in the air with, are we practicing or is this serious? So they got this primary system when they know it's serious. And when this go out, everything else shut down because there's only one higher than this, and that's the launch codes. They show you that inside that movie that they got on Netflix now, the House of Dynamite. They show you the president pulling out of his vest. I think that sheet of paper is called the potato. And on there's codes that he reads off to the nuclear, submarines and stuff, and basically launch codes. So you activate this Skyking basically right before something serious like that go down. This happened this Sunday. It says, hold on. Salakia. While not a direct command, a Skyking message could contain a special order related to nuclear forces. For example, during the Cold War, the message would be transmitted to nuclear-capable forces such as the B-52 bomber crews to issue mission orders and was part of the Strategic Air Command's Go, No-Go command system. I'm just glancing through some of this here. It says, the the broadcast. This is high priority alert. A Sky King message is a time-sensitive, high-priority EMA that takes precedence over other messages on the network and instruct all units on the net to pay close attention. So when this is activated, man, see, people gonna see it's time for the Lord to work. Matter of fact, let me get that. See, people are going to see, and they're going to be caught off guard. Something is about to go down. You know, it's about that time of testing, and the Lord about to cut this short. We about to enter 2026. How long you think the Lord going to drag this thing out? He's going to put it in Esau's heart, you know, the militaries, the generals, to pull the trigger, man. And next thing you know, there will be chipping millions and millions of people. And we're going to be standing back, call Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because it's about that time. This is Psalms 119, verse 126. It is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. It's time for the Lord to take action, man. Well, they will be screaming the names YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI real soon. AMP, it is time for the Lord to act. They have broken your law. GNT, Lord, it is time for you to act because people are disobeying your law. So the Lord is about to take action. Moves about to be made. So we don't know how short the time is, but it's definitely short. So I asked chat a little more about Sky King. I said, what message is higher than Sky King? It says, no message is considered to be of a higher priority than a Sky King emergency action message on the U.S. military's highest frequency global communication system. Well, that's not necessarily true, because when you do a little more research, you got something called the emergency war order. So Sky King is to set them, basically to set you in decon 2 mode. And then once that happens, you go to decon 1 where the missiles are in the air. So this is the only thing that's it works with Sky King, but Sky King will set this off. This gets set off once Sky King sends out that alert. And they sent out an alert this weekend. An emergency war order, which is an EWO, is a contingency plan activated to direct military forces after a devastating attack, particularly one involving nuclear weapons. During the Cold War, the U.S. military maintained strict EWO procedures in case of a nuclear strike by the Soviet Union. We know that the Soviet Union, which is Russia, the bear in the scriptures, the bear going to end this. But let me read this here. This is the EWO versus Sky King, okay? The term Sky King refers to a special high priority type of emergency action message that takes precedence over other messages on the network. And the EWO, on the other hand, is the set of instructions or procedures contained within the EMA. A Sky King message could interrupt other EMAs to communicate or update EWOs. Once again, the EWO is an emergency war order. Meaning this is the war where they tell you to shoot even something incoming in defense, or they're going to shoot because they're called the Department of War now, which means they're on the attack. So they're not, look, YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is not playing. The time is short. And you know the Lord is bringing in, and the nuclear bombs are in the scriptures. And we're going to prove that. Okay, the nuclear weapons are in these scriptures. This is Joel 2 verse 1. I'm going to read this in the NLT. It says, sound an alarm in Jerusalem. Raise the battle cry on my holy mountain. Let everyone tremble in fear, because the day of the Lord is upon us. And Jerusalem is a people before a place. So the Lord is coming for the tribes. He's coming for Esau. He's coming for the heathen. Jacob's trouble means everyone is in trouble. And this is how it ends. So as they getting closer to this next event, whatever this event going to be, to spark the mandatory chipping of population, which is going to ultimately spark World War III, which is going to spark YAHAWASHI's coming, we are close. We are close, man. It says, it is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness. Suddenly, like dawn spreading across the mountains, a great and mighty army appears. That's these bombs. They're described as an army. Nothing like it has been seen before or will ever be seen again, because nuclear weapons are new. They're new on the scene. You didn't have these other empires that had nuclear weapons. Egypt didn't have them. The Babylonian, the Syrian Babylonian kingdom, the 4 major kingdoms didn't have them. The Medo-Persians didn't have them. The Greeks didn't have them. The Romans didn't have them. Now you shoot up 2,000 years in the future. Boom, the Manhattan Project. The Lord sent the scientists into the earth. Now you got nuclear energy. Now you got nuclear weapons. So the nuclear weapons, these type of missiles, they are new to planet Earth. But they only here for the second death, the final call. Will the Lord bring in that fire that you read about in Peter's? So once these nuclear bombs enter planet Earth, you're looking at the downfall of these other kingdoms. That's the ending right there. So the Lord got all the seasonings on the counter. You know, you about to cook, you lay everything out on the counter. You get the stove heated, you get the pans greased, you rinsing off the chicken, whatever, you preparing. Everything is laid out to start cooking. So everything is laid out. The Lord about to start cooking. And it will never be seen again. There's not going to be a second run with nuclear weapons. This is it. So everything is laid on the table. We're going to get back to this in Joel in a moment. I want to play a little bit of this video. But before I do, let me just read this here. This is the copyright disclaimer, right? Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not making profit off your video. This is for NY Prepper. You know, we got to start using this more because Esau's getting real picky and touchy over this information, man. You know, and I can't even play all these videos like I'm not going to play the actual codes going out, you know, but we're going to listen to this information. This is going down. This side of the world, the Lord is about to end this, man.
The description down below, it's at NY Prepper 1. But we had the highest priority nuclear code transmitted yesterday afternoon at around 14:17 Eastern Standard Time here in the United States. And I do have a clip of this highest priority nuclear code pinned to the top of my Twitter page. I'm probably going to also upload a separate video of it to YouTube and to Rumble. I'm going to play a sample of it for you right now.
Significant financial compensation may be available for Northwell Sleep Center and STARS Rehabilitation.
But this highest priority nuclear code was transmitted by the United States, and this is known as a skyking message. So the only higher priority nuclear code in the United States is known as the Emergency War Order. And this is the literal order to launch from the president when the president is putting in his gold codes from his biscuit. The biscuit is like a little card that he keeps on his person. And on that card are printed the authentication codes for launching.
Now they show you that inside that movie. That's what it's called, a biscuit. They showed you in that new movie on Netflix, House of Dynamite, when he was on an airplane And he had to go in and, and you'll see the card. That card switches for the president every day, So they was dropping a lot in that movie, but this thing is happening in real time.
Okay, that proves that he's the president. He has a little biscuit. It's about the size of a credit card, and he gets a new one every single day. Every morning he gets a new biscuit. And there's a lot of numbers on the biscuit, but only a few of them are the actual authentication codes that he needs to prove that he's the president, okay? Otherwise, if he dropped it on the street by accident and somebody picked it up and they said, oh, crap, I have the nuclear codes, and there's a whole bunch of numbers on that biscuit, so he has to memorize which numbers every single day. They change the numbers, and he has to memorize which numbers are the right numbers for the authentication. So when he calls up the Secretary of Defense to order the nukes to be launched, they have to prove that it's him, okay? But when he's doing that, when he's giving out those gold codes, as they're called, to the SecDef or Secretary of War, that's known as the Emergency War Order. That's the highest level. Just below that, or potentially on the same level, is the Sky King message, which we just heard yesterday afternoon at around 14:17 Eastern Time on the primary U.S. nuclear war frequency. This is extremely rare, guys. The last time anybody's ever heard a Sky King message was, I believe, in 2016, okay? And certainly not in the last couple of years, not even before Russia was starting to invade Ukraine. There were no Sky Kings. There were no Sky Kings when Iran and Israel were launching missiles at each other during the Biden administration. There were no Sky Kings when Trump bombed Iran with the stealth bombers. There were no Sky Kings during Prigozhin's uprising. All right, so that tells you the severity, the seriousness of one of these messages going out. So if you don't know what a Sky King is, aside from it being the highest priority code, basically what happens is it's a one-way code, all right? So you'll have a radio operator with the U.S. nuclear forces, and he'll start the code by saying Sky King, Sky King. And when he says Sky King, that's why it's called a Sky King message. That's letting everybody else know in the nuclear forces that's listening to the radio on the primary nuclear war frequency that this is the highest priority code, okay? So he starts out by saying Sky King, Sky King, and then he'll read off a number of different codes, a number of letters and numbers, okay? And that's the actual coded message to the nuclear forces, and it's one way, all right? So this would be like the equivalent of, a local police officer standing outside of your house with a bullhorn saying, this is the sheriff's department, please open the door now, okay? It's a one-way message, it's an instruction, and when he's shouting at you through that bullhorn, this is the sheriff's department, everybody's listening, all right, within earshot of that. It's the same thing with the Sky King message, okay? This is very, very serious. Like I said, the last time any amateur radio observer, amateur radio enthusiast has ever heard a Sky King message was in 2016, I believe. Okay, so almost 10 years ago, all right?
Two ways to trade with Kraken.
You can hear that.
Whether you're buying crypto instantly on the go,
so this
or
went out.
Precision
now, of course, this report here, this is a day old, I don't know why he's releasing them like this. Like he'll release them, do them. Then 24 hours later he'll release them. So this actually was on Monday. So this happened on Sunday. This video here was just released earlier today when I got hold of it and I started looking into it. So you see the seriousness and what Jake is doing. Jake out here just looking at it. They using YouTube to watch people eat hamburgers, eat themselves to death, pick pimples, play with their feet. This is what people is doing. So basically, the Lord has set these people up, man. They got no clue that stuff like this is going down right under their nose. Why they out trying to enjoy the day? Half of them looking for damn Halloween costumes for this weekend. worrying about a damn haunted house. And this is going down. So the Lord has put us in great position with this understanding, because when something serious do happen, there's only two groups that's going to know: the hopeful elect of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and the top elected Edomites. Now these military guys going to know exactly what's going on. They just going to get the order. But we know that all hell, or the hellfire won't break loose until the Lord's elect is sealed, until they start chipping these people. So maybe they may do a suitcase. We don't know. They may let one off. They may let one off and then start the negotiations from there and get people so frantic. Because to get you to put a computer chip in you, you know what type of fear and pressure? The Lord is about to create great fear on planet Earth. So something bad, we can't keep on explaining this. It's just got to go down. How long is the Lord just going to keep saying it until the Lord just say, put it in this man's mind? Do it. Today's the day. And it's going to catch everybody off guard, except those that's watching and preparing your soul, because we got to walk by faith. Everybody else going to be in terrible fear. Something like this happened, man. They're not dropping codes like this for nothing. This is Joel 3, verse 3. Fire burns in front of them. That's the warheads. I'm showing you there's bombs in the Bible. Fire burns in front of them. That's the warheads. And flames blow after them, and that's the jetpack. Ahead of them, the land lies as beautiful as the Garden of Eden, because everything looks beautiful now. Everything is put together, right? Behind them, nothing but desolation, because they're bombs. They're nuclear weapons. Nothing but carnage is left. Not one thing escapes. They look like horses. They charge toward like war horses. And that's the power. The horsepower that they roll with, man. You talking about 2,000 miles per hour. When it's really done, when the Lord got his elect in that ship and he put it in all these nations to shoot all their missiles at one time to Great Babylon, and over there where the small hats are alive, we talk about hundreds of missiles, man. Going off, synchronized, coming in all together. This is what Joel was saying. They look like horses. They charge forward like war horses. Look at them as they leap along mountains. And that's the arrow, the arch. Listen to the noise they make, like the rumbling of chariots, like the roar of fire sweeping across the field of stubble, or like a mighty army moving into the battle, because that is an army. That's the Yahweh and his son Yahawashi's army, man, those missiles. It says, fear grips all the people. Every face grows pale with terror, and they're going to shake. It's like when you look at that movie, when they knew that bomb was coming over and their defense mechanism failed, everybody was shaking inside that movie House of Dynamite, man. Everybody was shaking. Generals, every president, he's scared to read the codes. The reality of this thing hit him. And that's what's about to happen here. The reality is about to grip these people like no other. Shit, I'm listening to this like, man, it's like we know these prophecies, but when you look in the earth and it's happening like this, if the spirit ain't with you, you can shake. You can shake, man. Just like the apostle said, when they start shipping people and you see the reality of you can't eat, you can't do nothing without that device. If the Lord don't activate that faith, man, if the Lord don't activate that faith, we're in some trouble. So the faith is all we got. That's all we need. That's what we're going to live off. Even when it comes down to the point to where we hear them shoot a missile or something terrible goes off and everybody's in fear. We got to walk with our greatest weapon that the Lord placed in us. That's our faith, man. It says, the attackers march like warriors and scale city walls like soldiers. They coming from everywhere. Straight forward, they march, never breaking rank because of the GPS system. These are, GPS guided missiles, man. They lock on the target. Shit, if Russia got the dead hand, well, they don't even got to be around. It activates on its own, and all the targets, the major cities in Great Babylon are already programmed into the system. So they got their marching orders. They know where they going. They got your address. They got my address. This is already programmed into these missiles, which are swords, which are arrows, man. The Lord ain't playing no games. They never jostle each other. Each moves in exactly the right position. So they already positioned. They put some of the top motherboards into these missiles. They spend the most money on this equipment. The Lord got it to where they got it together. There's going to be no accidents, no missiles bumping into each other. There'll be no defense. Remember, Babylon won't be able to get theirs off. I told you earlier in the chapter. Maybe they may get a few, we don't know. But the Lord going to make it to where it's going to be a sneak attack as a thief in the night. They're just going to have to make fast decisions. And when Babylon see something coming in that they suspect is a missile from another country, the president got 6 minutes to make a decision to retaliate, man. That's a lot of pressure. Because they're not sure if it's a missile until it gets close enough to where they can identify it. They got sensors all around these mountains to pick it up, but they don't know until it get in sight. That's how the Lord designed it. And then by that time, you got 18 minutes to get somewhere, man. 18 minutes? What are these people going to do? We're not playing around with this. This is serious business. We are sitting in the lake of fire right now, man. And the Lord is about to put it in this man's mind to make major moves to seal up these last prophecies while the unbelievers thinking it's going to drag out another 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah, right. Then why they activating the Sky King? Why they doing stuff like this now? At the end of 2025. You better keep your eyes open, man. I'm going to read this same verse in the KJV. Joel 2 verse 8. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Now I'm going to prove, I said I was going to prove nuclear bombs is in the Bible, or missiles is in the Bible. We know they're nuclear. But this sword here that you see, this is the Hebrew word for it. It's not a regular sword. And you can turn any projectile into
Strong's H7973, Shalach,
which is Shalah, as you can see, missile, weapon, missile, to shoot. So this word Shalah translates from missile or weapon or to shoot or to sprout. And Shalah, and this shoot is to go forth, like you're moving forward, like you're throwing a projectile. Shalahs are heavenly programmed and put together. And this is the missile. This is missile. In the Bible, in the book, in the holy book. Shalah. These Shalahs are heavenly programmed and put together by the one and only YAHAWAH and his son YAHAWASHI. He designed this and he used man to do it. The Lord said, I created the smith. Okay? The Lord did this. A missile is an airborne range weapon capable of self-propelled flight, aided usually by a propellant, jet engine, or rocket motor. Historically, missiles refer to any projectile that is thrown, shot, or propelled towards a target. This usage is still recognized today with any unguided jet or rocket-propelled weapons, generally described as rocket artillery, man. Missiles, missiles, missiles. That's what this word goes into. It translates into. Okay? But when you read it, it's sword. Here. Sword. Sword. But this is the word. Shalah. Ha-shalah. Ha-the shalah. Sword. Ha-shalah. The sword or the missile or the projectile. The sword. They shall not be wounded. Meaning they won't be stopped. You're not going to stop these missiles, these projectiles for coming in, man, and handling business. That's sword. That's missiles right here in Joel 2, verse 8, man. I'm going to finish this out. They shall run to and fro in the cities. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in through the windows. Because when they fall on you, they just falling. They fall on buildings, whatever. Skyscrapers, bridges. Oh, the Lord about to get busy. This is all biblical prophecy, man. The earth shall quake. Meaning the earth is going to move. Why? Because the power that these warheads have when they hit. The earth quakes as they advance, and the heavens tremble. The sun and the moon grow dark, and the stars no longer shine, which is Esau, his wisdom, his knowledge, and as well as those mushroom clouds are going to cover the sky. So the Lord is getting busy, but, you know, this is a good chapter here. You know, the video already, I didn't want to go this long, but hey, I just wanted to blow the trumpet on this. The business is going down. The Lord is about to handle business in Great Babylon. He's about to let these swords go.
Now, a lot of people on the internet, specifically on Twitter, have been saying that this is all a part of the Global Thunder 26 nuclear exercise that the U.S. has been doing, but that's actually false, okay? They never do these types of codes. They never send these out during exercises, all right? And there's a reason why. The reason is that if there's a true emergency during the middle of an exercise, it would cause chaos amongst the nuclear forces if they don't know what's real world and what's an exercise, okay? So they don't do exercises on primary nuclear war frequencies. They have secondary frequencies to do that on, okay? And how do I know this? Because my friend, inventor Lee Wilbarger, who was a senior technologist for the U.S. Army and is heavily connected to the highest levels of the government, including intelligence services and the military, told me that they do not do exercises on primary nuclear war frequencies, okay?
Yeah, that's for all you non-believers. Oh no, they do it. I'm glad he put that in there. You know, that this is serious business. So we're gonna end it right there, man. I'm gonna pull this last scripture. As you can see, the time is short. It's shorter than we think, man. This is Romans 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time. What time are you in, Jake? Where we at? What's going on in the world? Is it time to party? Let your hair down? Right? You out here starting, you know, you get into the real estate game. You're a little late for that, my man. You're trying to invest in Babylon because you don't see. You don't see what's going on. So you don't know what time we in. So you're going to be caught with this. You're going to have to just deal with this. You're going to take your chip. You're going to shut your ass up. You're going to sell out your family. You're going to sell out your mama because you're untrustworthy. You know Jake is a sucker. And when all hell break loose, he going to switch. He going to turn on everybody. These people are vicious now. Imagine how vicious they going to get once things like this start really coming for their ass. Because the pain is coming, Jake. Your ass is in trouble, man. Right along with your daddy Esau. And that knowing the time. We know what time we in. That now it is high time. It ain't say just time. It says high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. So the release date Hey, we down to, like Apostle say, months, seconds to this kingdom. So YAHAWASHI come and rescue us and get us out of here. You know, in a spectacular fashion, might I add. You know, the Akim as well as the sisters, man, you leave it, Lord willing, I'm part of that number. We leaving out of here in style. In style. And before that happened, the Lord going to up our faith and make us crazy men around here. We're going to have crazy faith. Unbelievable. Just like now, the faith the Lord put on the men to go to them streets and teach that Bible for all these years, our apostles, that's crazy faith. Imagine how much more when the pressure is on, when the Lord turn up this fire, man. Because he about to turn it up. Our Lord YAHAWASHI call, Allah YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is on his way, man. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM RAKAHAKWADASH. Double honor to the elders, a great millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakaryim, shah yash'Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Time is short. Time is short. Shalom.